camera smells here.
Just waiting for the countdown. And any logos to start. So.
What do you think?
UTV people do those things.
We do. Radio, not so much.
Okay, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone. I hope you're in the right place. This is the communications, journalism, and PR presentation. So welcome. My name is Chelsea Reed. I'm a SUNY Plattsburgh freshman admissions advisor, and I'm joined with 3 people. And if you want to go down the line and introduce yourself, say where you're from. I've got someone from the chair of communication studies. I got the chair of journalism with me, and I actually have a student here as well. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Slater. I'm on the faculty here. I am the chair of the Journalism and Public Relations Department, 2 programs. And next to me is my colleague.
I'm Tim Kluke, and I'm the chair of the Communication Studies Department, and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm a senior, and I'm a TV, video, and audio radio major.
Perfect. So they'll be with me. We're all here to answer your questions. So if you do end up having any questions along the way, please feel free to throw them out there. I know that there should be a little box so you can type them out and throw them out there. We want to get all the questions we can. We'll go throughout this presentation. They'll add some notes as I go along. And there'll also be live polling opportunities as well. So please participate in that. There's some fun questions to get you engaged. But we'll go through this presentation. It's probably going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to throw out my first polling question. So give me 1 second. So you can view the questions now. Go ahead and vote. The question is, why were you interested in joining today's event? You can go ahead and choose your options. It fit into your schedule, distance to campus, the ability to talk to faculty. I wanted to stay in my pajamas right here, and or all of the above. So it looks like we have everyone participating. I'll end the polling. So yeah, we've got a good mix. It fit into your schedule. Wanted to stay in your PJs, absolutely, and all of the above. All right, so we'll throw out those throughout the presentation. So keep an eye out. Share the results as well. So yeah, we'll just keep going through, and I'll throw those out every once in a while. And on to the next one. Okay. So obviously you are here for the communications, journalism, and PR info session. And obviously you probably want to know what you're going to make in these fields. And that's why I'm here to tell you about our programs that we offer, what you can get job-wise, what you're going to get paid, what kind of jobs are out there. So we'll go over it. You're looking at about a $60,000 median annual wage for communications, journalism, and PR across the board. And that's actually higher than the median annual wage for all occupations, which is a fun fact. And there's growth in these fields as well. So you're looking at about 43,000 new jobs by 2026. And that's because there's a lot of demand for media and communication. Obviously, people are looking to be communicated to in an effective way. So communications, journalism, and PR is all about that. How do we communicate with people? How do we do it effectively? What are we looking for? So those are just some fun facts. And we're getting all of these facts just as kind of cover our bases, but by the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. Going. So majors in communications in the communications program. So you have 5 programs offered within the communications program. You've got audio radio production, broadcast journalism, communication studies, digital media production, TV video production. So we can kind of go over those, and if you want to jump in at any time, Tim, you can. But basically, audio radio production, basically what you think it would be. Working on the radio, production, being the director of a radio, sales, being a DJ, anything like that. And across the board with all of these programs within communication, there's a lot of hands-on learning that you're going to get. So just an example for hands-on learning for the radio production program is our radio station on campus, which is called the Quake or WQKE. So that's just an example. Broadcast journalism. That's if you want to be, work on news, sports journalist, camera operations, writing, being an anchor, even editing. And that's what goes into that. Hands-on learning opportunity for that is PSTV. That's our on-campus TV station that you could be working on. And that has newsrooms that you work out of. Then you have communication studies, which I love. It kind of applies to many different things. You can get a lot out of that program, very applicable to many fields. And that's all about addressing the public and kind of how do you do it well. And there's 3 pillars to it. You've got, rhetoric, which is persuasive speaking. How do you speak well to an audience? You've got human dynamics and culture. How do you speak to different cultures? And media studies as well. Then we move on to digital media production and how to kind of effectively, and this is across the board for all these programs, how do we effectively speak to our audience? This is websites, website development, digital animation, multimedia production, list goes on with that. And then our final one, TV video production. Again, they're utilizing PSTV for this, for their hands-on learning, but this is about being in the studio, in the field, producing, editing, capturing, things like that. So anyone want to speak on that? I know you
Sure.
have a major that, we have a double major, so if you want to speak on that at all.
The audio radio production, for example, it's beyond just the radio component. It actually covers 4 areas. Beyond radio, it also covers TV film sound. So we have a lot of students that specialize in the audio that work in the film and television industries. It also covers live sound components, which is like working at concerts and setting up conferences. And it also is involved with recording, whether that be music recording or recording audiobooks or working in studio in different ways. Chelsea's correct. The 2 TV majors, broadcast journalism and TV video, they work in tandem. One specializes in sports and news, but they both have the ability to work both inside the studio and outside the studio. So doing field production and studio production, that makes them unique. The communication studies takes you through all the aspects from interpersonal communication to international communication. So it can be something that's good on a one-on-one level in a small group, or it can be something that works out for corporate work. And the digital media major is something that covers a fairly wide ranging area. It's still an area that's it grows a lot over the years. It continues to grow every year. And it covers everything from web design and elements that could involve coding to people working with social media, producing videos for the internet. So it covers its own areas as well.
Yeah, something I guess I'd like to mention, within like the department as a whole, there's a lot of overlap. So like I came in originally I'm a senior, so I came in originally just being communication studies, and then I wanted to like narrow it down to TV video. And then like through that, I noticed that like, a lot of like other things like audio and stuff work into that. So even though I'm a TV video and audio radio major, I do take like a lot of classes throughout all the like 5 majors, and you like learn a little bit about everything because they kind of all work together. It's not just like separate.
Awesome. So it was an easy process getting a double major. How did you go about doing that?
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, I originally was TV video, and then after like talking to my advisor and stuff, we noticed that so many classes overlapped anyway. So adding another major was only taking like an extra 5 classes. And then, basically that's all.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you very much. So we'll move on to journalism and PR at SUNY Plattsburgh. You've got 4 majors within that program: news journalism, magazine journalism, multimedia journalism, and public relations. So we'll go through that. And again, these all have wonderful hands-on learning that goes across the board for all of these programs, all of these departments. You're not going to be keeping your head in a textbook, which is awesome. You're going to be getting out there and practicing the things that you're learning. So we'll start off with news journalism. This is all about, reporting, editing, being a page designer, desktop publishing. You're going to get into ethics and law, even looking into the history of press as well. And then for the hands-on learning, Cardinal Points, that is our student-run newspaper. So students get to work on that newspaper. They're editing, writing for it, editing the layout for it. So that's really, really great hands-on learning opportunity. Moving on to magazine journalism. That goes into being a writer and an editor of a magazine, the production of magazines, the business of it, and examining kind of the role that magazines have in our culture. And a great hands-on, again, for this is Due North, which is a student-run magazine. It's an absolutely beautiful magazine. It goes out to the public, not just on campus, and it's all about the Adirondacks. And this is student work. Fun fact about it, it actually gets into, we have a local airport at Plattsburgh, and it gets on the airplanes in that little pocket behind the seats, and people around the country can be seeing this magazine. So that's a really great opportunity for our students. Then we've got multimedia journalism. This is kind of goes into a lot of different platforms: print, digital, online, broadcast. Again, about reporting and writing. You get into a little bit of HTML and CSS, so website design, things like that, and how to shoot and edit videos. And then finally, public relations. Fun fact, I went to SUNY Plattsburgh and public relations was my major. So a little shout out for that. But that's all about kind of how to represent a business, concepts of persuasion, building campaigns for business, relationship buildings, public opinion research, things like that. The hands-on learning for that is actually Cardinal PR, which is a great opportunity. They create campaigns for local businesses. When I was in Cardinal PR, we did PR for a local kind of like a BOCES by our school. So that kind of covers all of those. Do you want to add anything, Dr. Slater?
Yes, thanks. That was a very good summation. Just a few extra points. As you might be aware, when we talk about news journalism and magazine journalism and multimedia journalism, in 2018 going on 2019, all of these forms of journalism have been converging quite rapidly. And so probably within the next academic year, we're going to merge all of these three majors into a single major, because if you're working in newspaper journalism, if you're working in magazine journalism, and you're working in multimedia journalism, you can be involved in any aspect of the journalistic enterprise. And so if you look at that reality and you see how it's reflected, for example, in our student-led publications, Cardinal Points has gone more and more to a simultaneous digital platform. So there's, during 12 weeks of the semester, every Friday morning, the print edition of the newspaper comes out, but all through the week, there's dynamic content being refreshed on a regular basis. And then the magazine, Due North, we have Due North magazine, which comes out twice a year in a glossy format. It's basically a tourism magazine. Unfortunately, it's no longer in the pouches of the airplane seats.
Oh no!
The airline that was carrying the magazine no longer serves Plattsburgh. You can still find it at the key information kiosks at the airport, and those magazine racks actually the magazines disappear very quickly from them. The magazine is supported almost entirely by a very generous grant from the Chamber of Commerce here in the North Country, and we're very fortunate to have a relationship with them. And so, again, the magazine for the last year or so has been making progress in moving additional content that you don't see actually in the print edition, online. And we're very lucky. We have Professor Manigault, who is the magazine advisor and our magazine instructor. She's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, and She and the students are doing great work with it. And in multimedia, we also have another publication that's worth mentioning called APN. APN is a totally online, no print version, a totally online lifestyles magazine. All of these three now have are all online, and we're in the process of creating an umbrella group for all of these three, and that reality, of course, is reflected in what we're going to be doing with the journalism major in the coming academic year. Public relations, of course, has the Cardinal PR, which is the student-led public relations agency working for nonprofit organizations in the North Country now for many years. We also have a chapter of the PRSSA, the Public Relations Student Society of America, which is a stepping stone to the Public Relations Society of America, which is the largest public relations professional group in the world. And we have a chapter of the PRSSA. We have two students who just got back from Austin, Texas, where they attended the national conference of the PRSSA. There's a leadership rally every year. There's a PRSSA assembly. The students get to host and put on a variety of events here on campus, and anybody's welcome to join in on the PRSSA events. So again, to underscore the point that when our students get into, whether you're in communication studies, whether you're in journalism or PR, the emphasis is on hands-on work, and not hands-on work later on in your academic career, but pretty much almost toward the beginning of your career, which I think sets us apart from a number of programs, not only within the SUNY system, but also nationwide, that you get to work in a professional setting before you graduate. Because I think Professor Kluge will agree with me, and I'm sure that when he talks to industry people, when I talk to industry people, in business and industry, they're not doing really too much on-the-job training anymore. They don't have the time, they don't have the resources. They're expecting students to come and start work and hit the ground running, and we believe in that too. And that's why we will get you prepared for your career while you're still on campus here.
Awesome, thank you very much. So we're gonna go ahead and launch another polling question. And this asks, what major are you interested in now? So we went over the majors that are in each department, so you can go ahead and answer. We'd be very interested to see what you are all interested in. Perfect, okay. So, there and share the results. And it looks like we've got audio, radio production, broadcast journalism, and digital media production. Awesome, all great selections. Great, so we'll move right along. So this is a great slide to look at just because it lists out some of the classes that you could be taking within those majors that you're interested in. Obviously, this doesn't list them all out, but they are some really great classes that we offer. So things like travel writing, sports reporting, mass media propaganda, television studio production. Now, Jordan, can you talk about some of the classes that you took? Maybe name like 2 of your favorite classes that you've taken. They don't have to be listed up there, but just some cool classes that you've taken.
Sure. Well, I guess like television studio production is like one of my favorites, which is basically what we call PSTV. Except you like learn a lot more than just that. And basically for PSTV, students have the opportunity to learn like all the positions in television studio and how it runs. And like we create all of our own content and then it goes to air. So that's pretty awesome. I've also taken one of my favorite classes was called advanced audio classes are always fun too. We get to make things like PSAs, commercials, radio dramas, and we can like use the equipment and stuff like that. So that's pretty fun.
Great, awesome. Very cool. So average
Can
class
I
size.
just interject something
Oh,
here?
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it's important based upon that last poll is that, and Jordan talked about this, is that you can double major. You can be a major in TV video production, for example, and also do a major in public relations. As a matter of fact, in the public relations program, we have a number of students who are majoring both in PR and the various majors within the communication studies program and vice versa. So there's a lot of versatility and flexibility, and we generally encourage that the students have the ability and the desire to basically expand their horizons. Two majors at the same time is certainly possible, and you know, a degree with two majors can make you, in fact, more marketable when you graduate.
And I'd just like to piggyback on that because one of the things that when you're looking to graduate, you're looking for your courses in the major, and then you have general education courses, and the rest are electives. And there's people that are looking, what do I fill my electives with? And I just met with a student today who's a broadcast journalism student, and she's about halfway through the program. And when we discussed what her future would be like, she decided she wanted to have public relations. So you're probably going to get a visit tomorrow.
Right.
Somebody that's, just can be a really good fit. And I also want to make a comment on the curriculum that, the curriculum evolves, the courses evolve. And there's things that are, steadfast, taking writing courses, but there are many changes in the industry, and we try to adapt to that as much as possible. I know like the sports reporting, something that came in. Just this semester, for example, our department offered for its first time a class on using drones or unmanned vehicles. And Jordan was one of the first students to take that class. But and drones, not just for film, but they're being used everywhere. So we're reacting to the industry request, people that are out in the field. They're saying your students are more marketable if they have this knowledge, if they're able to do that. And so we react and we put those in. And I know that that is equally done on the journalism and public relations side.
Also, both programs have minors. You have a radio minor, we have a public relations minor, a journalism minor. So if you're not interested in doing a full second major, you can get a taste of a different discipline by doing a minor. So for example, you can do a communication studies major and a public relations minor. And if somewhere along the way you feel you want to expand that to a full dress major, you're free to do that. And you will already have, most majors on campus are about 18 credits. And so if you consider that a major is anywhere between 40 some odd and 50 some odd credits, doing a minor already gets you a third of the way through another major.
Perfect. Awesome.
You know, also, another, for those that are interested in the audio, we also work closely with the music department as well. So we have a lot of students that are double majoring or minoring in music. So there's a lot of fits, a lot of areas that can fit together on campus throughout the campus.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we will launch another polling question at this point. And the question is, what unique hands-on learning opportunities would you want to participate in? So we've been throwing out a lot of hands-on opportunities out there. So definitely go ahead and vote and we'll see what you're interested in. Perfect. So we have about 100% of our people are interested in internships and research projects. So we'll actually be getting to that. We touched on it a little bit. Do you want to talk about, Jordan, a research project that you've been involved with a little bit? Just
yeah, I've also interned, so I'll talk a little bit about that as well. SUNY Plattsburgh, at least the communications department, I bet the same for PR as well, but really helps to like set you up with an internship that like fits well for you, like what's well suited for you. I interned last summer at a news station in Albany, News 10, and basically it was like 10 weeks. It was 18 hours a week. I got to do everything there, but also I would report back to Cookie about like what I would do that week. So it was basically like learning, but taking in what I was learning and being able to express it to other people to make sure it was actually like being absorbed. And definitely like SUNY Plattsburgh does a great job making sure that you're prepared for the field. I actually, when I got to my internship, they were so shocked on how much I already knew. And I've heard from like many other places, like I obviously only interned there, but many other places that SUNY Plattsburgh students in particular come in knowing a lot more than other schools. And I think that has to do with all the hands-on stuff that we do and all the different programs and classes that are offered. So that was a nice like touch that I already got there and already knew a lot. So then I could expand my knowledge even more rather than just like diving into the like basic level.
Awesome, thank you. So we'll move right along. Speaking of the hands-on learning, we've talked about a little bit of this, but we do have some great facilities that these students can utilize, and one of which is Yoakum Communications Hall. This was added to our campus very recently. It was renovated and moved to a different location. It's called the Yoakum Communications Hall, and it's a great place where our students can get their hands on learning. So they're working in a facility that meets current and professional studio standards, and those are just some things that are provided in the communications hall. So 2 television studios, sound studios, control rooms, editing suites. I think my favorite one when I've gone in there is the Think Tank Lounge. It's open to all communication students and they're able to study in there. It's a really cool, fun place to hang out, do your homework, things like that. And it's all upgraded equipment. So great facilities to offer to our students. And these newsrooms, they actually look like real newsrooms. They're really, really great.
They're nicer for sure than some of the actual ones I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really nice.
Do you want to add any pointers about that or anything, or is that good?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's partially listed. We also, besides just the facilities in the building, in the West Wing of Yoakum, we also offer the ability for students to sign out equipment for specific classes. And so we have an equipment cage facility where students can, I guess they sign up online. Yeah. Jordan runs the cage, so she can tell you exactly.
I'm the equipment cage manager. Yeah, something that like you'll notice is like once you're in the department, it's so easy to get involved in everything. So I actually am the equipment cage manager as well. So I keep track of like the inventory and like all the equipment that we have and like make sure it's working properly and stuff. But I know like PR students use it as well. The journalism students use the equipment cage as well, but we just switched to an online reservation. So basically you go onto this system, everybody has their own password, you reserve the equipment you need, and then you basically come and pick it up. And then, yeah, so you don't have to have your own equipment to be in this major. We basically give it to you. I don't give it to you, but you can use it.
Bring it back.
I also like to say that we have a lot of additions too that we, especially in the audio lab facility, says sound studios, but we do sound and audio. And what's been very attractive to a lot of students is we have electronic drums. We have the ability to plug in bass and guitar. We also have synthesizers that we have a variety of different keyboards. We try to, if somebody has musical ability or talents, we like to try to help them to grow in those areas. And we even have a vocal or voice processing room, which can alter your voice to sound like somebody else in a number of ways. So we have and samplers and a lot of others, but we add these in and they become a part of projects that are done for specific classes. So everybody gets a chance to get their hands on them and use them and see how it works.
Perfect, thank you so much. So we'll go ahead and launch another question. This one says, what type / where would you be interested in doing an internship or research? We've been touched on internships a little bit, but where would you be interested in doing your internship?
I'd say abroad.
All right, awesome. So go ahead and share. So it looks like we've got 50-50 abroad and locally. And those opportunities are out there for you. You have local internships that you can dabble in. You can even study abroad because we do have over 500 locations to offer to students nationally as well. So a lot of opportunities for students. I know that a lot of communication students end up going to the city as well, New York City. I think that's a popular location.
Can I mention something about the study abroad? Not only, you know, a lot of our study abroad programs, of course, are done through some of our sister SUNY institutions. And there are actually, in public relations, there are overseas internships that are made available through some of our SUNY schools. And these are study abroad opportunities that actually don't include any classroom work. They're strictly internships in places like the United Kingdom. We've had, there are also other institutions, but we've had some of our students do internships, not only in the UK, but I want to say France, I know Spain, down in Latin America as well. There are, and we've got a great global education office, GEO. They're a fantastic group of people, and they work very hard for our students. So if you're just doing a traditional study abroad, and also we have these, there are programs you can go away for 10 days over spring break and do a study abroad experience. So there's a lot of opportunities. And of course, both in communication studies and journalism and PR, the opportunities nationally in cities across America, locally and regionally, there's really, you're only limited by your imagination. In any semester in journalism and public relations, we have students who are interning within the immediate vicinity, or they're down in the Capital District, for example, in the Albany area, or they can be in any number of one of the great American cities, New York, Miami, Washington, D.C., Chicago, LA. So, you know, think of all of the places where, you know, all of the business, the regional business hubs, and that's where we have students.
Yeah, in the communications area, internationally, the popular areas seem to be Australia, Ireland, Italy, and London. Those seem to be the most popular areas. Nationally, it's basically the TV and film students like to head to New York or LA. And we've had a number of interns there in those areas. A lot of the audio students would prefer to be in New York just because of the number of recording studios in that area. But we've also had some in the Albany area and some in Canada. So it can be a lot of fun and a good experience.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so we just covered them. These are some examples of where our students are interning at from the communications program. So you can see PBS, CBS, Time Warner Cable, Nickelodeon, even MTV. So these students are getting out there, getting some great opportunities. And it can even lead to a job eventually as well. And then we can move on to the journalism and PR internships. You can see, again, MTV, CNN, Adirondack Life, Times Union, tons of opportunities our students are getting for their internships. It's fantastic.
And also the point that you made about internships is that a lot of there are occasions there are occasions where students who are performing their internships in their last semester of their senior year very well might find themselves offered a job before they graduate.
Okay, and then obviously we want to know what these jobs are getting us in the end. So how much could you be making from these jobs? So this is some salary information for some jobs that we got from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So we've got film and video editors, camera operators, advertising, being a fundraiser, a PR specialist as well, and technical writers. So those are just some fun information that you can see where you could end up. And then we do have another slide with that information as well. So producers and directors, graphic designers, web developers, editors, reporters. So we have some great things to look forward to. I'll move right along. So these are careers for our communications, journalism, and PR. Some possibilities for you. And I'll go ahead and launch a poll again so you can kind of see, what do you want to be when you grow up? Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? What's your dream job? Obviously, the list is endless for our students. These are just some that you can see on the slide that are possibilities. So go ahead and submit your vote. Perfect. Okay. Okay, there we go. So we've got TV producer, and I'm not sure yet what are my options. So yeah, those, you can see your options on there. And when you talk to your advisor is very, very helpful. I remember as a student, I was constantly in their office. They have set office hours where you can go knock on their door and say, I need help or need guidance. And they are so helpful. They can talk about possible jobs out there for you. You know, if you're looking to do a second major or minor, like we spoke about earlier, they are there to help you. So yeah, there are great, great options out there for you.
And regarding like TV producing and stuff like that, through PSTV, you get an opportunity to be in management. I actually was twice. I started out as an assistant producer for a show that was called Cardinal Sports. And then the next semester, I actually wound up producing that show. So, you know, you get to make your own rundown, create your own content, and put the show together like yourself, like you're in charge. You run like a couple operations students, like you're in charge of them. You show them what to do. They help you. You have talent and stuff. And then in the end, it's like your show that you can put on your demo reel and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you willing to share, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah, so I think I've decided that I want to do more like video promotions for like bigger companies, stuff like that, visual communications.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. So we'll go right along. So these are just some clubs. Again, it's kind of an example of hands-on learning that you're going to get from these programs. You definitely want to get involved. You get out of SUNY Plattsburgh what you put into it. So join clubs and get yourself out there. There's the Association of Black Journalists, Cardinal PR, which we mentioned already, Film Club, PRSSA. So we mentioned a few of these on there, but definitely get involved. Something that I love to throw out to students, it can seem overwhelming, a little scary to get yourself involved with clubs and kind of introduce yourself. There is an involvement fair at the beginning of the school year that you can go to, and all the clubs and organizations set up, and you can introduce yourself to them and see what they're all about, so you don't have to have those nerves about you. But
I just want to point out one thing, that Cardinal PR is not only a student club, but it is a credit-bearing practicum. But you don't have to be enrolled in the practicum in order to be on the staff of Cardinal PR.
Great, thank you. And a fun fact, that picture in the bottom right, I'm actually in that picture. That was an experience we all, Cardinal PR, I think it was Cardinal PR, or no, our crisis class. There's a crisis class in public relations that's offered, and we did crisis communication for GM, a practice crisis communication experience. So we all went down to New York City and got to meet some PR representatives from GM. So that's a little fun fact.
Most of the students, all of the students in that photograph have since graduated, but they are all successful alums. They've got, some of them have just wonderful jobs. I would say about half of them are down in the Capital District, and the other half are in New York City. Actually, one is actually working in our global education office. The chap in the tie, Evan Bowker, works in our global education office here on campus.
Perfect. Awesome. And then these are just some alumni outcomes, which we were just talking about. So these are just some of what our students are doing. So some students have worked at National Geographic, People Magazine, Post-Star, Fashion Week, Boxing Digest, New York Post, Marine Corps. So they're getting out there, and it looks like they're all over the place. Got someone from Virginia, Washington, D.C. So they're getting out there, getting some good experiences for sure.
Yeah, we just did a poll, and some of our students working for Maury, some for Rachel Ray. We have students working for Sony Pictures out on the West Coast. There's every television station in the capital region is has our students there. So, and many of them are coming up for homecoming this weekend. So we look forward to seeing them.
And that's an interesting sort of phenomenon, outcome of being a graduate of SUNY Plattsburgh, either communication studies or PR or journalism. What happens is you find groupings of our alums working in the same organization. So for example, in public relations, and this is true for journalism as well. Like for example, there are one of the internship opportunities, I believe, up there was Edelman, but we also have graduates working. Edelman is the largest independent public relations agency in the world, and so what happens is that they'll recruit, and it's very difficult to get a job in Edelman. It's a highly competitive environment, but yet we'll have at any given time 2-3 graduates working at Edelman, not necessarily in the same city because they're all over the world. We've had graduates working in Edelman, Tokyo, and Edelman in DC and in New York and other places. So we'll have graduates working in the same agency. And New York City, of course, there are clusters and clusters of mid-sized and large PR agencies. And so there's one agency in particular in New York City where we've had as many as 5 of our graduates working at the same time, not all from the same graduation year, but working. And what happens is that the quality of the professional experience that our students get through internships, through the hands-on courses here, translates into these jobs. And so what goes on, and this happened to me this semester, I got a phone call from the CEO of one of these mid-sized agencies in New York City with offices around the world, and he said, send me more of your graduates.
I have, like, going off that, like, at least in the capital region, I have had people like say, we love to hire from SUNY Plattsburgh because like we know that we're getting like quality students who have had like the hands-on opportunities already.
Yeah.
So
great, thank you. Right ahead. Again, we got all this information, or a good amount of this information, just from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We'll move right along. Just to kind of give you an overview of what SUNY Plattsburgh is looking for in their students. So we've kind of given you an overview of the communications program, journalism, PR. You want to apply now. How do you go about doing that? What are we looking for? That kind of thing. So we're generally looking for about an 85 to 92 high school average. That's what our middle 50% of our students are getting. About a 1060 to an 1180 SAT, 21 to a 25 ACT. And if you are looking to transfer, that is the transfer GPA. We don't require both SAT and ACT. It is either or, whatever you would like to hand in. It's completely up to you. I also like to throw out that we do super score for the SAT. Make sure that you have successful completion of Algebra 2. That should be on there. We should get that off there. Sorry about that. So you don't need that successful completion. And then we do award scholarships as well. So we have a lot of scholarships available. When you apply to SUNY Plattsburgh, you are automatically put into the pool for scholarships. You don't have to apply separately. And there is a lot out there for you for merit-based scholarships, so based on your GPA and SAT. If you are interested to see what scholarships are out there for you, we do have a scholarship calculator online that you can utilize. Just go on to plattsburgh.edu, type in scholarship calculator, and you can enter your GPA, your SAT, or your ACT and see what you're eligible for. It'll calculate it all out for you so you can see. And then some dates and deadlines to keep in mind. Since we are kind of around the application season and getting applications in, recommended application dates. So if you're looking to get onto our campus in the fall, you should get your application in by December 1st. We are rolling admission, so you can put your application in up to the start of classes. I don't suggest that. I would follow our recommended application dates. So December 1st, get your application in for transfers. March 1st, you want to be filing for FAFSA December 15th, by December 15th. And our deposit deadline is May 1st. So that day that everyone wears their t-shirts and says where they're going, you want to get your deposit in by May 1st to guarantee your seat in the program. And then for spring, those are the dates as well. So if you're looking to come in the spring semester, transfers in freshmen November 1st, FAFSA November 1st, and deposit deadline is December 1st. And then, as always, we spoke about all the facilities that our students utilize. and you want to get on campus and see what it's all about. So definitely get on campus. It really makes a difference. If you're trying to narrow down what colleges you want to come to, you definitely get that warm, fuzzy feeling where you go, I can see myself going here. So it always helps to get on campus. We do have 2 open house events coming up, one on October 20th and November 17th. These are huge events. They're our biggest events. And if you want the opportunity to talk to these 2 gentlemen that spoke with you today, ask them some questions, pick their brains, open house provides you that. So we have academic breakout sessions where you can pick the brains of professors from the programs that you are interested in. You get a campus tour. You get to meet different representatives from around campus. So if you have questions about financial aid and residence life, things like that, you can get those questions answered. So Saturday, October 20th and Saturday, November 17th. And you can register right online at plattsburgh.edu. And that wraps us up. Thank you very much for joining us. If you have any last minute questions, you can submit them if you want to get them answered really quickly. But other than that, that is it. If you have any ending remarks as well, thank you so much for joining us. All 3 of you, thank you very much. If you have any ending remarks, you can add them.
Yeah, I'd just like to encourage anybody to go on to not only the website, department website, but also our Facebook page. We have a boatload of videos, student work, student that was completed, and some of the facilities, including some that Jordan's in. So you can take a look and see all that on our Facebook page.
And public relations also.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, public relations also has a Facebook page, and so you can see what sort of things our PR program is up to. And there's also the PRSSA, the Public Relations Student Society of America, also has a separate Facebook. So if you want to see the types of programs that they're holding for students on campus, you can do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And what are the names of those 2 Facebook groups?
The Facebook group for public relations is called Plattsburgh PR.
Okay. And the
it's SUNY Plattsburgh Department of Communication Studies.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I will go ahead and end this. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your night. Hopefully we'll see you all on campus soon. Awesome. We did it.
Yay.
Let's make sure.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was great information. I really appreciate it. It was nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Jordan, you had some great facts. Thank you, Dr. Slater.
My pleasure.
Cool.
All right. I think I'm good. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tommy.
So no